Hi, good afternoon, and welcome to our Nurse and Health Coordinators meeting that happened on August 21st, 2025. My name is Benita Gonzalez. I'm the Director of Student Support Services for the Archdiocese of Galveston-Houston Catholic Schools Office. My direct contact phone number is there listed on the screen, 713-391-2630, or it can also be reached via email at bgonzalez@archdh.org. During our meeting, we talked about nurse mentors. So if you are a new nurse, you will be provided with a nurse mentor. This person is your phone a friend. They are the ones who will help you and guide you if you have any questions as you're navigating through your clinic and others are asking you questions. Of course, I am here to support you and guide you if you have any questions that your nurse mentor is unable to answer. Next is our TCCBED Health Manual for the 2025-2026 school year. A reminder that there are many updates that have been provided by TCCBED in there, so please be sure to take a look at them. There are some health laws that came into play for this school year, so we will be reviewing those as a nurse leadership committee. And also our legal department and our risk management and also our leadership team will be reviewing those health manual updates as well as the health laws. A reminder that your 2025-2026 nurse verification form is due, so please complete that and email this to bgonzalez@archdh.org so I can place this within your file. Our nurse webpage has been updated, so a reminder how to access it. If you click on the nurse icon at the top of the webpage, again, it's www.choosecatholicschools.org. Click on the nurse icon. Password is ArchGH or you may click on the portals and then click down to nurses, and then again, password is ArchGH nurses. The nurse webpage is your one-stop shop where you will find all nurse resources, anything from your nurse calendar for this year, the health manual, any kind of communicable disease letters, child abuse reporting, healthcare plans, immunization information, and also immunization medical exemptions are in there, the nurse verification form, and so on. So just a reminder that this is your one-stop shop for all things health coordination and for nursing. If you're utilizing the FACS Student Information System, a reminder that also on the nurse webpage is a FACS Medical Tab training. So if you are new to FACS or if you need a FACS refresher on the medical tab, you're welcome to click on the FACS Medical Tab training. It'll guide you on how to input information from events to notes to prescriptions and also immunizations and vision, hearing, and spinal and sports clinic screenings. So please a reminder that this is great training for you, especially if you are new or just need a refresher on the FACS Medical Tab training. Next, for those nurses that are new, I do have a nurse onboarding video. This video is supposed to go onto Capernaum, but as of now, it is just awaiting its cue to be added into Capernaum. But for now, if you are new, let me know so I can provide you this nurse onboarding training. It is one long video, but it does have all the wonderful information that you will need for starting as a new nurse or a new health coordinator. Capernaum Annual Health and Safety Training. I did let all the nurses know it's going to be okay. Just like anything that is new, usually there are some glitches and some hiccups in some areas. But just a reminder that this too shall pass. So if you have any questions or concerns with annual health and safety training, please provide some grace for your current staff members. We're hoping to have some of these glitches fixed and moving forward. And that way we can be glitch-free moving on. A reminder that Capernaum is now under a new learning management system, which is LEAD. Our previous one, Cornerstone, that one we no longer have. So a lot of the previous trainings have been transitioned into the new learning management system. It's still called Capernaum, but it's just who's managing the back end of it. Unfortunately, some of those glitches came through, but not to worry. We're going to do our best to try and clean it up. Again, give your staff some grace. Brian Henritzy spoke to all staff members members in our August in-service. So he let them know, please give them a little bit of grace as they're finalizing some of these health and safety trainings. If you have any questions, there is a help button at the bottom of the Capernaum login page. So when you log in, there is a help button at the bottom if for some reason they cannot locate the annual health and safety training. So when you log into Capernaum, this is the annual health and safety training. Again, you can access this through our website, www.choosecatholicschools.org, and you'll see the Capernaum icon that's at the very top. This is also in your TCCBED health manual, so you can see how to access the annual health and safety training courses. During my meeting, I did go over some registration and login access for new users. A reminder that there are some videos to guide you through a lot of these registration areas. So if you have any questions, please look at those login registration videos to help you and guide you. But for those that are new, creating a new account, if you already have an account, I would not highly recommend that you create a new account because you're only going to create double access, and then we're going to have to try and figure out how to merge you with all your different accounts that you have. So please be sure to, if you have any difficulty on Capernaum, check into the help desk for support if you cannot remember specific logins or you have a specific event or scenario that's going on within your registration. But if you are new, go ahead and create a new account and making sure you follow through with what it's asking of you. Please be sure that when you are logging in at the very bottom where it says I work or volunteer at a Catholic school, when you select yes, it's going to ask you to select your school. Be sure you do not skip this piece, that you make sure you type in the appropriate school on where you are working. That way you can access all the wonderful trainings that are associated with that specific school. Check your profiles. If you can't locate any training, make sure a Catholic school is identified in the profile. If it is identified in the profile, and I have an example of mine here, making sure that you add your school, but if your school is not there, add it. But if your school is there, then check in with the help desk just to see if there's any questions that they might have or support that they may be able to provide to you that you might be having. It's very possible you might have two accounts, or there might be something wrong with your account for them to have to fix. A reminder that when you click on Capernaum and you need support, you can always click on Get User Support. That's right beside the login page. Another thing that we discussed was the new hot weather guidelines. So this will be in our TCCBED health manual. So please review these so you can find the greatest and latest that are there. Again, the heat index application and the wet bulb globe meter indication. A reminder that a lot of this information is in the TCCBED health manual on what your school can adapt or adopt in regards to their environmental monitoring tool for your school. A reminder that if you are using the heat index, to make sure that you're using the correct guidelines that are listed under the heat index. If you're using the wet bulb globe meter intake index, making sure that you follow those guidelines as well. Within those same guidelines, we also provided some GHCAA, which are the athletics type of guidelines for any kind of outdoor weather, considering that there is really hot weather days approaching. If not, they are already here. Making sure you take a look, your school takes a look at these guidelines, that there is shade involved. If you do not have any shaded or patio areas for students to be taking breaks, especially during after-school activities, that your GHCAA athletic director puts those in place so we can have the health and safety of every child in place. Next, the LifeVac anti-choking devices. A reminder that these are non-FDA approved. These are more experimental, and we are not here within our archdiocese making sure that we are not having these in our parochial schools or in our parishes. This has been reviewed by legal, and we are following their guidance. So making sure that if you do have this LifeVac emergency care for choking, that this is not on our campuses or or on parish grounds, again, because they are non-FDA approved. And we want to make sure that whenever we're providing any kind of health and safety monitoring or administration, that it is with materials and also with medications or approved FDA components. In previous years, we have had many the use of a Heimlich maneuver on campuses, a reminder to provide parents with an email to seek their child's medical provider for medical follow-up. You can't require them to do this, but you can highly recommend, because when you're using the Heimlich on a child, you never know with those thrusts if you have hurt them internally, if there's any kind of internal damages. Many a times there might be some bruising involved as well. Even when you're doing with as an adult as well, we're highly recommending that they seek their medical provider just to be super sure that their bruising did not also indicate that there are other damages happening internally. I am happy to report that TB questionnaires as of 2025-2026 are no longer required. So TB questionnaires for students and teachers are no longer required. As of November 2024, the state Department of State Health Services has indicated that they are discontinuing the TB questionnaire for students and for adults. So making sure that you remove this from your admissions applications, and you remove these also from anything going further. Now, if you've already done this, no worries. You've done a great job. You can go ahead and put it in the student files or in the employee files. But for next year, you are no longer needed to provide these. So there was a House Bill 920 for medications. So we had discussions on what do we know, what do we need to take into consideration, providing a nurse's standpoint on their cares and concerns. So we got together as a team and a group within our nurses meeting to kind of give some feedback, some nursing feedback on their thoughts on House Bill 920. So I hope to provide that information to our upcoming principals meeting for principals, and also to provide that to our legal department and our leaders to review that, to provide a wonderful comprehensive medication policy in regards to medication administration moving forward. Also, there was another update to Senate Bill 1619, which is the stock of epinephrine. So we reviewed this also within our nurses meeting, providing some feedback and update on where we as an archdiocese will be going forward with this for 2026-2027. At this time, we do not have any stock epi within our parochial schools, but that'll be something that we'll be reviewing for 2026-2027. Stock for respiratory distress, also another policy that has come through, health policy, for having those inhalers or any type of respiratory distress supports for those who may not have been identified with this type of respiratory distress, but is needing this. So this stock medication at this time is not being stocked within our parochial schools. If you're an independent school and wanting to review this type of respiratory stock distressing medication, please review this with your current nurse and your school board members. But for parochial schools, this is not currently something that we're implementing for 2025-2026. Pediculosis, which is also head lice guidelines. So we are reviewing our head lice guidelines this current year. So we're making sure that our nurses review this, seeing if there's any updates that we're needing to make. Also reaching out and consulting with external medical personnel to support us with this guidelines that we're wanting to put in place for 2026-2027. At this time, we're just going to continue our current head lice specific guidelines, which that students may not return until they are lice-free for readmittance. Another Senate bill that we are discussing is 1177, AED inspections. So as the school year began, we wanted to make sure that everyone ensured that their AEDs were fully operational in preparation for any potential cardiac emergencies. That included checking any of the expiration dates on their electropads, checking to make sure that their AEDs would turn on and off, making sure that everything was functional. There are a couple couple of things between Senate Bill 1177, that's on page 53, that our current legal department is reviewing on these AED components, making sure we're looking right now on the AED manufacturing date, just to see if a manufacturing warranty date is expired. Does that mean that it is no longer functional, or does that mean that we need to replace that immediately? Because we do know that there are some vendors that are stating that some of our schools are needing to replace their AEDs because it has passed their warranty date. So we are looking into this with our legal department to get more clarification if this falls within the Senate Bill 1177 under that area of operational, of it something being fully operational. So we'll get more information as soon as we can receive it. Next is our FACS Medical tab updates. As you may know, FACS updated their medical tab. It used to be vertical, and now it's horizontal where things are on the top. Of course, this doesn't make it very user-friendly, and we did have a discussion about that at our nurses meeting. Now we have the general allergies and conditions, events, immunization, notes, OTC meds, prescriptions, and screenings at the top, and there's still more after that when you continue to scroll. Again, not making it really quick access, but unfortunately this is what we currently have at the time. So please make sure you navigate through this medical tab so you can familiarize yourself with it, but also in the FACS Medical tab training, I have updated within that tab training these new tabs. So as you're going through that FACS Medical tab training from the nurses website, please note that this is already updated on there. So maybe that'll help you a little bit as you continue this navigation. A reminder that when you are inputting immunizations, making sure that after you've inputted immunizations throughout the day that you do check compliance. For some reason, FACS has the specific setup in their system that whenever there is a new student coming on or when there are new immunizations being updated, that you have to file a check compliance component on this. I don't know why it does this, but I would highly recommend that if you're inputting immunizations, you don't have to do it after each one, but have to do it after a huge large batch or after the entire day. That way you'll have the latest and greatest compliance updates from all those immunizations that you inputted. Over the summer, you should have received a IM Online email stating that the transition from from the Child Health Reporting System will now be on IM Online. If you did not receive this email, please check in with me so we can make sure we get you registered and going. We want to start this early, especially since immunization reporting begins in October. It gives us ample amount of time to review if you are registered, if you're having any issues. My understanding, there is a little bit of chaos with registering for IM Online. If you already have an IM Online through MTRAC, apparently that's not the same one. You have to register for another one for the CHRS, is what I'm hearing. But check in just to make sure, and then check also your current MTRAC to see if there's an application on there with CHRS. So just a reminder, IM Online, if I can create an analogy, is IM Online is like your iPhone. And within that iPhone, you have applications. So you should see a CHRS application within this IM Online. So hopefully that's a good analogy for you on what you're looking for and what you're seeking. Really and truly, you should have one IM Online account and you should see MTRAC and CHRS. But unfortunately, it's not working out quite that easily, where many nurses have two IM Online accounts and then an application within each one. So again, if you have any questions, just reach out to me and I'll be happy to help you and support you. If you're currently utilizing IM Online for MTRAC, that has not changed. But if you are a new nurse and you need access to MTRAC, email me, Benita Gonzalez, so I can then provide you access to MTRAC. The Health Services Review Sheet Guide that's in the TCCBED Health Manual, this is a wonderful start, especially if you're a new nurse or a new health coordinator. This is a wonderful start on what should I be doing in the clinic. So this is just a quick starter on are you doing reports, immunization, supplies, student health files. Those are your typical and your basics. I highly recommend you read through the TCCBED Health Manual and notate or highlight or underline some way to notate that you have questions, and then reach out to me so I can then support you with those specific questions. Just a reminder for those that are already talking to parents about field trips that are coming out. There might be a field trip that's coming up in September or October, maybe a camp or a retreat that your students are going out to. Make sure that when you're meeting with parents to provide them an update to if they can provide a travel size medication would be helpful in the area of transporting. It'll be easier for you to place these within a specific bucket as you're trying to transport these to the specific location. So telling parents if you can locate the travel size version would be wonderful. If not, we completely understand. But the smallest is always the best. If they're bringing in a Costco bottle of something, that makes it a little bit harder for transportation. So make sure you're part of those discussions when it comes to planning and preparing for specific overnighters. A reminder that our immunization policy still stands. We highly recommend that you post a TCCBED immunization policy on your applications and your registration areas for prospective parents to see. There are many times still to this day that many parents are unaware of our immunization policy. So please be sure, I highly recommend that you place it into your application, the first documents that the parent sees. That way they can make and discern upon if they're wanting to proceed with your school or not, and if this immunization policy meets their needs or not. So please be sure that you have that accessible for the parents to see and read. When you are provided with a vaccine record, a reminder that on your current vaccine record, there are a couple of ways that a parent will provide this to you. They'll either provide it through a patient portal that has all their vaccines on there. A reminder that if they are giving you a patient portal printout, that their physician's name, address, and phone number is on that actual document. So it can't just have the vaccines with no documentation of who the physician is. Also, if you print out an MTRAC or Department of State and Health Services file or immunization history record, make sure you sign it because that's going to have your TXIS number on there. So you make sure you sign it, especially if you're printing it out. If a parent is providing it to you from the physician's office, making sure that they signed it. If the physician didn't sign it, if you have access to MTRAC, make sure that you're always welcome to just print it out for them and sign it yourself. Another option is the Texas Department immunization card. It's usually in the form of a blue and white card, but if they made a copy of it, it'll be a black and white card. Making sure that each vaccine is dated and stamped or signed. So making sure it looks something similar to the one on the right that I show here on your screen. Those are usually the vaccine records you'll receive. If you receive a vaccine record from someone out of the country, making sure that they get verified. Verified means that they need to take it either to a clinic or they need to take it to a pediatrician so they can verify that the vaccines are comparable to the requirements that are here within the United States and here within Texas. And you might be able to read some of them, but again, they need to be verified from a physician so we can make sure the proper dosage and the proper milligrams were provided within that specific vaccine in that country. And a reminder, if a parent provides you with an affidavit for conscientious exemptions, they might look like something like the documents that are currently on the screen. A reminder that you might need to provide these documents back to the parent and let them know that at this time that the immunizations are not in conflict of the Catholic faith and conscientious objections or waivers which may be permissible for attendance in public schools do not qualify an exemption for Catholic schools in Texas. A reminder that this is a bishop's ruling and this is something that they have all decided for our Texas Catholic schools. If a parent is seeking immunization medical exemption, we do have an immunization medical exemption form. You can locate this form on the nurse's webpage under immunization information. We provide this document to the parent so their physician, who is an MD or DO practicing in the state of Texas, can fill out. A reminder to make sure that this is legible when you receive it, making sure that we can understand who the physician is, so we will be able to, as a school, contact them and verify them. The bottom portion where it says school personnel only below this dotted line, health coordinators and nurses, once you receive this, you will contact the physician's office to verify the letter. You are just calling to verify that you have received an immunization medical exemption for the named patient above, and you just wanted to verify that it was coming from their office. If you have any questions or if you have any concerns, you're welcome to call me and I can guide you through the specific medical exemption forms. If you're currently certified for vision, hearing, spinal, or AN, a reminder that there are some recertifications that you have to do after a specific number of years, in this case 5 years. Please do not wait until your certification is expired. If your certification is expiring this year, go ahead and contact Yeren Salceda. Her phone number and her email are there listed on the screen. If you are needing support with acanthosis nigricans, Robert Puentes would be the one who you would contact for that information. Also, a reminder that we still have the symptom guidelines. None of those have changed. That's going to be for COVID, flu, any kind of colds. Really and truly, we are looking for fever, vomiting, nausea, diarrhea, that a child is fever-free, vomiting-free, diarrhea-free for 24 hours without any type of suppressing medication. We also reminded that if any students or individuals are not feeling well, and it's even far outside of the fever, vomiting, nausea, diarrhea, making sure that they stay home so they can recover accordingly, so they can then have a successful academic day the next day. If you have any expired EPIs, you're welcome to bring them at any of the nurses' meetings. I do provide these. Thank you to our partnership and collaboration with Christus St. Mary's Clinic that they support us with the disposal of these expired EPIs. Please do not give us used expired EPIs or used EPIs. Those actually go with the medical personnel when those are used. We are only taking expired EPIs that are unused. Some of the reports that are due, a reminder the nurse verification form is due by September 1st, 2021, and then your immunization report will be due December 1st. But again, a reminder, once the immunization state reporting system opens in October, I highly recommend you start reporting because of the new transition. I don't know what that's going to do as we're getting closer to December, so I would not wait until December to report. But again, I can only state that. Hopefully some of you guys will take that highly recommendation and not wait until the very end. Some future meetings coming up will be November 5th, 2025 will be our second Archdiocesan meeting that will be in person here at St. Dominic. January 7th, the third Archdiocesan meeting will be virtual, and our last one for the school year, April 15th, 2026, will be our last fourth in-person training. Again, please contact me if you have any questions. Again, Bonita Gonzalez at bgonzalez@archdh.org, or you may call me directly at 713-391-2630. Thank you and have a blessed day.